Hello, everybody. Hopefully, everything's working well. We shall see. I started a couple minutes early just so that people could get in, and also to make sure that StreamYard was working well, because the last couple times I used StreamYard, it was not working well, and it was a big fiasco. And you can go back and watch those ones; those were a mess. So I just figured I'd chill out a couple minutes early and see how everybody's doing. I don't expect very many of you to be on this early because you won't even get the announcement for a couple minutes. But I'll just kind of fill you in on what's been going on. I know if you're in my newsletter group, you've been getting a lot of information about what's been happening with me and what's been going on with my life the last 3 months, 4 months. So 2025 has been a wild ride. I think it's been that way for everybody that I know. I can't find a single individual or family, let's say family, a single family who has had a mostly peaceful journey this year. I found plenty of my friends and their family who have chosen peace, but not a whole lot who have just like circumstantially had a peaceful year. And I'm one of those. So just like rough draft, fast version of everything that was going on this year. Let me see. I don't even know where to start. I don't know even where to start. We've had huge ups and huge downs. We've had graduations. We've had breakups. We've had visitors from out of town. We've had fun little things like some of you guys will like this, some of you guys won't, but like I got a new tattoo, which to me is really fun. It's been 23 years since my last one. So it was really fun to go get one. I got one with my sister. That was like a high note. That was really fun. And then I came down from all the graduation things because this is my baby graduated and I'm a homeschool mom. So that my life changed dramatically in a very short amount of time. And that was very emotional, very heavy. And I actually wound up getting sick because it was so emotional and so heavy. And yeah, so I was sick, really sick for a good 2 weeks. And as soon as I came out of that, I found out another family member of mine was much, much sicker. Let me make sure everything is going on. Yeah, everything's going good. Okay. Much, much sicker and was going to have not emergency surgery because they weren't taking them right away to have things done, but they were urgent about this very invasive surgery. And I call it very invasive. It was it was brain surgery, so it was pretty bad. But so came out of being sick and found out this person was sick. We had tons of help, tons of support. But walking through that was hard. And then the surgery happened, and God really helped the surgeons and the doctors. And best case scenario, as far as I can tell so far, from the surgery was the result. And so that's amazing. That's a huge praise report to have out there. That was a really big deal. That was phenomenal. And then the next month after that, we had complications from the surgery that we were trying to learn how important each complication was. You know, there are some complications that you're just like, okay, we can deal with this. You know, it's uncomfortable, it's disconcerting, but it's not life altering. But then we had others where, excuse me, I'm really thirsty tonight, where we didn't know if figuring out which symptoms were the life-changing ones and which symptoms were just, hi, Captain Laser Squid, were just, my brain just shut off. Were, just annoyances that took a lot of time getting used to those, figuring out which one was which. And we got to where we were able to figure it out a little bit better. Things were getting a little bit easier. Medications were adjusted. Great things were happening. And then the other side of the family had somebody get sick and actually wound up passing away. And that was really, really hard. Still hard, obviously, you can tell by my voice. But that was really, really hard. And then while that was it's still really fresh, but while that was really, really fresh, then we had somebody fall and need another surgery. And so it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And that's just handling the older generation. That's not me. That's not my husband. That's not my kids. We have our own things going on. So that are pretty complicated. And there's tons of blessings with them and tons of inconveniences or those kind of things. So that's where I've been for a while now. I've been kind of like oscillating between waking up and feeling okay and not really wanting to get out of bed, or not being able to get out of bed in the way I want to. I'm still able to get out of bed. I know there's people that aren't, but in the way that I want to show up at all, that's been really hard. So in the middle of all of that, I had a book release, and when it released November 19th. I just didn't feel up to celebrating it yet. Because I was still going through a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff was still fresh. And whatnot. So yeah, I didn't really get to celebrate. So now we're celebrating. Actually, I didn't just have one book launch. I had this book launch, Clickbait and Criminals, which I really like. I had my newsletter figure out what cover. I had 2 different covers to choose from because I didn't know if I wanted to go with one with a person on the front or one with just the supplies on the front and the cute little knife. I love that knife. Anyway, so my newsletter actually chose this cover. So if you like being in on those kind of choices, you need to sign up for my newsletter. There's a link in the comments that will get you the free prequel to this book in ebook form, but it will also get you on my newsletter. So there's that. So I released this book November 19th. And with it came the release of this book, which is the prequel to this book. So if you got the ebook version, you get this one for free in the ebook form, or you can get both in paperback. So within in November, I released 2 books within 3 days of each other. Obviously one is a lot shorter because it's prequel. It's not the full length novel or anything like that. But yeah, that was really exciting. And then I didn't get to celebrate because it was just too much. I couldn't fathom celebrating in the middle of all the stuff happening. So here I am tonight, and I'm going to make the most of it. No matter how many people show up, I think I'll be on here maybe 20 more minutes and just hang out. And then I got to go pick my kid up from something she's participating in tonight. And yeah, so there's my little bit of my life. There's what we're celebrating. And I just thought I'd come and hang out. There's been a lot of people asking how I've been, what's been going on. So I figured I would give a really quick rundown of what's been going on. And I'm doing okay. My family's doing okay. We're in the middle of a lot of emotional things and a lot of urgent things and a lot of heavy things, but we're doing okay. We are, my son and my daughter are still doing their respective school programs. They're still doing whatever work they need to be doing, getting done. My husband still has a job. Thank the Lord. I'm still, actually, when I say still, I actually hadn't written since, I want to say May, but it might have been more like June or July. Like maybe I started back up in June or July and was okay for a couple days. And then then I got sick, and then all the other stuff just whoosh. And as I just kept getting tidal wave after tidal wave of all this stuff, I couldn't make myself write. And I didn't think it was fair to me or to you guys being the readers to write in the middle of all that, because you weren't going to get my best work. I wasn't going to be kind to myself to do all that work. So I just figured, there was no use forcing myself. And then I started very slowly getting back into writing. And I was just like, okay, 250 words today, 500 words tomorrow. And then it was so sad because it was November, and November is like, it's not NaNoWriMo anymore, but in my heart, it's still National Novel Writing Month. And I was part of challenges, and a lot of my groups were having writing sprints. And you guys, I love a writing sprint. I love hosting them. I love being part of them. They really help my work. I just like having a community I can hang out with. And a lot of my communities, the different ones on YouTube and whatever, were doing these things, and I couldn't participate because I had absolutely nothing to give. And so the week of Thanksgiving, or like the weekend before Thanksgiving, I don't even remember, I was able to get on a writing sprint with the Christian Indie Writer Podcast Girls. They are on YouTube. You should check them out. You should subscribe to them. They're great. I love them. But so I was on a sprint with them and the friends of the channel and all that kind of stuff. And I was able to, in an hour, pull out 1,000 words. And when I tell you, I got off those sprints, I couldn't stay for the whole time because our time zones are different and I had things I had to do and whatever. But yeah, so when I tell you, I got off those sprints and I just broke down crying in celebration. Just picture the mess, because I was a mess, because 1,000 words in an hour is really good for me. I know that it might be stupendous to some people. It might just be to other people. But for me, it's really, really good. And I was so excited to be able to do that again, I left that feeling like myself. I left it remembering why I like to write. I left it remembering that even in heavy storms, maybe even especially in heavy times, that this is a gift, and writing is a gift, and being able to do it is a gift. And having you guys here with me, whether you catch this live or you catch this in the replay, is a gift beyond words. And all those feelings came back to me, and I really remembered how much I like to do this. And even though every time I write, except for like when you're in the middle of something really, well, the middle of any project, really, I get a little bit down on myself in the middle of every project. But I think it's been a while since I remembered how much I really love to write, because I've been so focused on putting out products, putting out stories, making sure everybody's content, my readers are content, making sure I feel as if I'm being productive enough, that I lost a little bit of like the spark with it. And I that's coming back, and I cannot be more grateful to God for that. I cannot be more excited about that. I cannot be more thankful for the Christian indie writers, because just facilitating that sprint gave me a reason to sit down on my laptop and get some work done. I didn't even sit at my desk. I curled up on my couch. I got all comfortable. I have no idea. What is this? Oh, this is bugging me. It's a Post-it. I curled up on my couch. I just sat with my coffee and all my blankets all over me and this big pillow on my lap, and it was amazing to be able to get the words out. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. And I have been writing. So that was the week of Thanksgiving. Since that time, I don't even know how long it's been since Thanksgiving. It's December now, but I don't know. Since that time, I finished a draft that I had started this time last year. I finished it. That felt so good to be able to just complete something. And I've started back a story that I had been writing already. And I I haven't written these particular characters in at least a year. And let me just tell you, it is so much fun to get back in touch with these characters, to be able to cheer them on, to listen to the songs that they're hearing, to see what they're seeing, to see their relationships grow. I know that sounds kind of silly since I'm the one writing it, but while I'm there, I do have like a general plan when I write. But while I'm writing, things just happen and things just come out that are not always intentional, excuse me, and not always like I didn't see it happening that way. I'm like, oh, okay, she's gonna say that. Really? She's gonna say that. Okay. But I'm having a blast. If you haven't figured out by the clues I've given you, which were just very minor clues, but that's my Penny series, and I'm working on book 9 of the series, which will, right at the moment, there's 8 in the series and 2 shorts. So there's 10 stories. I'm working on book 9. So that will make the 11th story. But the 9th book. And I am so thrilled to be back with Penny. I've missed her so much. She's grown up so much since the first book. She's gotten so much more mature and so much more confident. And she's wonderful. And I've really missed writing her. Today, I was able to write 3,000 words. 3,000 words sitting on my couch. My daughter is crocheting. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm just like, and I'm like, I don't even know where these words came from. I was so excited. I'm so happy that they were, it was amazing. It was amazing. So that's what's been happening in my life. That's what's been happening in my writing world. The other questions I've been getting in emails and such as, when am I going to put out another audiobook? I'm really hoping to dig into audiobooks next year, but that hinges on a couple things. First, I got to make sure my narrators are ready. I've got to make sure I have like the funds to pay them. No, this is not pre-recorded. This is live. I think it's been on for about 17 minutes, so you might be catching the end of it. But anyway, no, it's not pre-recorded. It's just me hanging out. And there's so I am looking into audiobooks. One of the things I'm really pushing for is to get this channel on YouTube up to 1,000 subscribers. And I want to add some more audiobooks to this channel so that you guys can have a place to go to get the audiobooks. But that takes time until, I'm so close to 1,000, but not quite there. So that's something I'm looking into this year. So that catches you up, what I'm writing, what's been going on in my life, and what I'm planning to do next year. So back to these books. Okay. Like I said, these came out in November and I'm just now celebrating them. These books take place in Dead Horse Canyon, which is the same place the Massage and Murder Mystery series takes place and the Donuts and Dragons series takes place. I might write one more series in that same town, but come on, I don't want to kill off the whole town. And if I have 4 cozy mystery series going in the same town, there's not going to be a population to pull from. So I am considering doing that. Let's see. These books star Harper Hastings. She is a mommy blogger, which is actually how I started out as a blogger, blogging way back when, made me remember how much I like to write and got me to participate in the first NaNoWriMo. And so that's what I did. So I kind of dared myself to write a story, and I did, and I published it, and the rest is history, I guess, to be cliche. But so Harper Hastings is a mom blogger, and it starts out kind of sad. Her best friend has passed away. That's who she used to write with, and she has to reboot her blog, and she has to do it alone, and she's never done it before. So she goes seeking help. And of course, she runs into lots of different characters as she's seeking help. The super famous bloggers and YouTube stars, the very famous homesteaders, all these people are there trying to give her advice. And wouldn't you know, a murder happens. Just her luck. Something happens, and she's got to solve this case so that she can get the help she needs to revive her blog. Along the way, she meets a friend, and this is not spoilers, meets a friend named Josie. And Josie is not just a name I use lightly. Josie is a very important person to me in my life, and I named this character after her on purpose because she has been one of my biggest fans. She has been one of my biggest cheerleaders. This girl dressed up as Penny Nichols from my Penny series for Halloween one year. So the book is dedicated to her, and I named this character after her because she's been just super, super supportive of me. And her and Harper get into all kinds of trouble together. It's a riot. It's fun, it's funny, and I think it has a killer twist, and you're really gonna like it. And that's Clickbait Criminals. Now, the prequel that you can get with it is kind of a little bit heavier. It's not as whimsical. It's not as funny. It's about what happens right after her friend leaves and how she's recovering and all those things. So it's fun. If you wanted it, you can get it in the comments. There's a link that you can click and you can get it for free on ebook, and you can figure out if you want to know more about Harper or about Josie, and that will tell you that. But this book, let's see, this one is my 27th mystery, and this is my 27th book, and this is my 28th book. And so I just now finished drafting my 29th story, and I am currently writing my 30th story. I cannot believe that. It blows my mind. Hang on just a second. Just a second. I'm all on my own when I'm on here, so it takes me a while to catch things going on in the chat. So there we go. There we go. Hopefully it's cleaned up a little bit. Hopefully it's a little bit cleaned up now. No, it doesn't look like it. So no, my chat is not normally toxic at all. It's usually just a few people chatting about writing and doing their books, and it's super mellow most of the time. So let's see if I cleared it up. Sorry about that, everybody. That is actually the first time my chat has ever been that toxic, and yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me. So you know that you're starting to make it when things go really bad on your stuff. I'm going to have to pay a moderator from now on. That is not fun. All right, guys. I am actually going to end this before it gets... Hi. I am actually going to end this before it gets any more crazy. Thank you for coming and hang out. Thank you so much for supporting me and my small business and for cheering me on when things get difficult. I really, really appreciate it. I will catch you next time. Bye.